Let's go. I think I'm live now. We'll see. Uh, I had to restart this thing and turn it back on because I'm 2 minutes late. But hey, late's better than never. What's going on? We're over here answering questions and answers. I just dropped a video at 5 p.m. It looks like a whole bunch of people have been watching it. It was a place we went the other day. Pretty rough spot. Like the bobtail was breaking the parking lot. Like it was it was something else. I'm really dreading hitting that place in the winter. Wintertime, that place is gonna be a nightmare. I had to use the differential locks just to not get stuck, you know. Daddy Death, what's up? Got 8K left. Let's go, man. Hey, that'll be over before you know it. Let's go. Gene Scott, what's up, Gene Scott? How's it going, buddy? Man, it's just been I've been working a lot this week. I've had a load every day I think this week except for Monday, so it's been kind of running, which is good because that means EcoShred's doing great, and that's what I run. Is I run a lot of the EcoShred stuff, dry loads. If y'all need rubber mulch, like the good stuff without the rubber or without the metal in the rubber, it's just rubber from the Eco Shred. So, it's great for playgrounds. Like they can make turf out of it. It's pretty cool stuff. I have it around my pool at my house, but definitely if y'all are looking for that, definitely hit up Eco Shred. They were telling me the other day that they're doing great over there. Like their sales are good. They're moving the stuff. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Like I'm like, dang, that's good, man. I'm glad for y'all. The more of that stuff they sell, the more loads I'm gonna have. So keep it up. It's crazy. I remember whenever it started, we were just going to the truck stops and we were picking up all the old tires from the truck stops and bringing them to the terminal. So we were like I did a lot of TAs, and it was all right. The problem with the TAs and stuff like that is sometimes people would park in front of the trailer that you needed. They would park their bobtail in front of it, or trucks were in the way sometimes. It's a truck stop. Sometimes people park where they're not supposed to. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but some of these places we go, they are really, really either they're a real tight spot that you have to get into, or like it's like a little shop with not much room, potholes, like old parking lots. Like it's these little shops that really don't have the money to put in this nice, like fresh parking lot. So I understand, like you're a business, and you know you're like, man, I gotta get these tires out of here, and you're the guys that will buy the stuff or that I'm paying to haul it off to. So it's a it's sometimes it's a nightmare, but there's a lot of good places we go. Like that place would in that video, that place would have been an awesome place to go to if it had just a super nice parking lot. Like the guy there was super nice. He was cool. He comes out every time you pull into there. He comes out real quick and he's all like, "Hey, you're here. Switch out the trailers." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." So, really helpful. It's just the parking lot. Like there's plenty of room out there. Plenty of room. Gene Scott says, living life. I'm retired now. Been out of trucking for about 4 months now. I didn't know if I told you. No, you didn't tell me. Last live, you told me that you weren't trucking no more. So I kind of knew you weren't trucking no more, but I did not know if you like were retired now fully and you're like, hey, I did what I wanted to. I went out there. It was one of my dreams. I did it and I'm happy I did it. Or like, hey, it was horrible and miserable, you know? Real B Hop Wood. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Says, "Hey, Twisted. I just picked up a student this week, so 2 weeks from now I'll be testing him. He did awesome today. We had a little short load today. It was his first time driving. He did super awesome. Like, he did a real good job. I'm not very good at telling people. So one thing I always tell my students is I'm not good at telling you that you're doing great. 9 times out of 10, if I tell you you're doing great, you're going to start messing up. I've worked jobs like whenever I was in corrections for 13 years, nobody came and said, "Hey, you did a great job." So like I'm not used to hearing it, so I kind of am the same way. I tell them, "Hey, if I'm talking a lot, telling you what to do all the time, then you need to make some improvements and you're not doing that great. But if I'm not saying nothing and you're doing lane changes and I didn't say nothing, then you did a good lane change. Like, you're doing good. I will call you out on everything you do wrong. I'm going to tell you everything you do wrong when you're driving, because you have to know. You have to know. You have to be able to listen and be like, you know what, I did do that wrong. I've had several guys that they're all like, man, I know what I'm doing, or they'll argue with me. They'll be like, I'm checking my mirrors. Bro, you're never going to get better if you keep on denying that you're messing up. Like, we learn from our mistakes. We really do. You can learn a lot from mistakes that you make. All the things that happen to you in your life, whether you did it on purpose or it was a mistake or it was an accident or whatever, you learn from that, and that makes you who you are today. Like, some people blame a lot of their stuff on the past. Like, a lot of people will blame all this bad stuff that happened in their life, but you got to look at the positives of what happened, what that made you now to this day. Like, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot, not as much as other people. I'm not saying that I'm like was really bad off and my story is worse than anyone else's, because my story ain't that bad. But I've done a lot of stuff that I've been proud of, and I've done a lot of stuff that I was like, man, why did I do that? And I learned from that stuff, and the environment I grew up in and the people I was hanging out with, they might have not been the nicest people and the greatest influences on me, but after time I learned who to kind of associate with and who to kind of distance from over time. And it's it's not that they were like super like bad in my life and like I regret ever hanging out with that person or talking to that person or doing the stuff that I did. It's that I learned from it, and that's what made me who I am today. Peg leg, yo yo, what's up, peg leg? Real says, where can a new trucker earn tanker endorsement? No, tanker experience with an employer in Carolinas. Have 1 year dry van. Sure, I wouldn't know. Like, you can get tanker experience right here at Prime because we have a whole tanker division. I I don't know if they're hiring for the division or not right now, but it's definitely something to check into if you just need some experience. Pretty much just everywhere that runs tanker, just hit them up or get on their website and start reading their requirements. So that's the best thing to do, and whichever one's going to take you in, because uh, how much experience? 1 year drive in. So 1 year driving experience, verifiable driving experience is not too bad. But if you want the really good jobs, they're going to require way more experience. So just try to get into whichever one that will take you. Like, make sure you can survive at that one. I'm not saying take one that's you're not going to be able to pay your bills at, because at the end of the day, hey, you got bills and stuff to worry about. So find the one that's going to fit you the best that you're like. I would line up all the tanker jobs in my area. I would make a list of them, and I'd be like, start crossing out all the ones that require a lot of experience. So I would compile a list of every one of them that would hire me at 1 year with 1 year of experience. And then I would go through them and find out which one that's gonna suit me best, which one that I can do the best in. And after that, research that company of the one that you pick really well as you can. Like if you catch one of those trucks at a truck stop, like you see the driver walking back to his truck after getting some coffee or something, hey man, how you like that company? 9 times out of 10, people will talk to you about their company that they're at. So, they might be like, oh man, this is a great company. I love it here. Or they might be the opposite. They might be like, oh, it's horrible here. But a lot of times people will tell you what they really think. If they're in a hurry, they're going to be real quick with you. They're going to be like, yeah, man, it's a great place. I like working here, you know? So will Prime hire you? You have 1 year of drive-in experience? Yeah. Yeah. Put your application in. Put your application in. See what the recruiter says. Talk to the recruiter. Say, hey, look, I want some over the road tanker experience. I want to learn tanker. I want to do tanker, and I really want to go that path and see if they have spots available. If they have spots available, then hey, there's your experience. If not, then you can always come and do the reefer or the flatbed, and once you feel like you're ready to go to tanker, then you can always hit up your fleet manager. Hey, is there a spot available in tanker? Is there, until like you finally get it. So, you have your TWIC and X endorsement. Yeah, talk to a recruiter. That's your best bet. They'll give you the for sure answers of everything. But we do hire people with 1 year experience. We hire people with 0 experience that just came out of CDL school. Mike 2.0, yo, Ken Ford, hello. But yeah, experience is the key in trucking. Everything that you need to do. What is that? Wow, it just automatically put a link in to. Does that even go to my merch shop? I can't even click on it on mine. I've never seen that before. That stream elements right there. The merch is here. Hog champ, check it. I don't know. Never seen that before. Sorry, I squirreled for a minute, but Ken Ford says I just got my CDL. Hey, congratulations, Ken Ford. Good job, man. Good job. See, that's the start. That's the start. But yeah, we hire people with experience. We hire people without experience. Like, put in the application, see what happens. A lot of people text me and they have questions about hiring process, and unfortunately I'm not a recruiter, so I don't have the final yes or no on anything. I can just pretty much tell everyone, hey, put in your application, and they'll tell you what they either yes or no, or what you got to do to get here. But the recruiter's your best bet because they have the final answer on whether or not yes we will take you or no we won't. Because a while back, whenever I first started the channel, this guy asked me, hey, will they hire me? I got this kind of record. And I'm all like, yeah, they should. It doesn't sound bad. I was like, yeah, they'll hire you. Put in his application and got denied. And he was like, man, you said I would be good. I was like, sorry, I'm not. Like, I'm not a recruiter. So I learned a long time ago, hey, put in the application. At the end of the day, if you just put in an application, like, just put in an application, because you never know. They might say, yeah, come on out. You know, that's my biggest advice to you. The next biggest advice is when you do put down that application, use my referral code for one. That way, your application will go to the top of the stack. And number two is on the application, put Jenny Tran as the recruiter, because or as is it recruiting? Yeah, yeah, as the recruiter, because she has taken care of my students. Like, I've heard some major complaints here recently about recruiters. So I think we're having a little bit of a trouble in the recruiting department. I'm not too sure, but I've been hearing a lot of complaints. You know, your recruiters have a big job to do, and they have to make sure everything's in line, everything's lined up for you to get here, and make sure that you're going to be good once you get here. Do you know, Gene Scott says, do you know how many drivers y'all have? Y'all are now, buddy, just, do y'all know how many drivers y'all, I think it's, have now? Buddy is just wondering. Nah, I don't know how many drivers we have now. I don't know what the size of the fleet is. That's one thing I don't really keep up with is like the amount of trucks we have, the amount of drivers we have. I look at certain areas to tell how freight's doing. I look at the empty lot and I see how many empty trailers are up there. I look at the loaded lot. I see how many loaded trailers are there. I'll look up there in the long-term parking, and if it's full, then I know we got a lot of drivers. And I'll also every once in a while I'll go around the terminal. If there's a lot of spots open in the terminal, like a lot of parking spots open, then I know that freight's running because there's no trucks there just hanging out. They're all running, you know. Real says, is lease purchase worth the try? What advice you have? Lease purchase, with lease purchase, you get the truck at the end, so like I like that better than the other lease, than the prime lease that we have, because at the end of it you get your at the end of your prime lease you get your lease completion bonus, and then you have an option to buy the truck, and the truck is like, I don't quote me on the amount. I'm just gonna say like the truck's like 80 grand, and it's like, wow, man, it's like I'm buying a used truck. It's so I'm not a big fan of that one. But if you're doing a lease purchase, I think that it's better because at the end of the lease you get the truck, and I would do a 3 year. That way, in 3 years, the truck's paid off. If you're at prime, then you do your 3 years, pay off your truck, and then you can run it another 3 years with no payments. Another three, I think it's 6 years is the cutoff on prime for the trucks. So I think it would be a good idea. What I would kind of think about doing if I had to do it all over again, if I didn't have a family and I was just me and I had to do it all over again, I would do some lease purchases like that. And I every time I would pay off a truck, I would I'd probably start me up a little trucking company and find something local around to do, like hauling rocks or hauling grain or something like that. I would put my trucks to work like that, and I just keep on buying trucks, paying them off, putting them on something like that. And I would hire my own drivers, and I have my own little trucking business. And then maybe someday I would be like, you know what? I got enough trucks out there. I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like I could even like Landstar would be one place I would look into, because I could just take a truck, and one of my old students, hey man, I'm gonna go try to do something else. Hey, you want to give one of my trucks a shot? Like go to Landstar, work out like something where, hey, you're making money, I'm making money, we're both happy, like run my truck. But if I was gonna do a lease purchase just to buy a truck, just to be like, man, I own my own truck, it would be cool at first. Once it's paid off, I would be like, man, I own my own truck. Look at me. But at the end of the day, like the truck's gonna start getting old. Once the warranty's gone, you know, you might say your engine needs a rebuild. That you gotta pay for that. Like it's not under warranty no more. So that's the bad side of it. My friend, he bought a truck, and he told me he bought a truck and he took it to Landstar, and he was running under them, and he's all like, dude, my warranty's gone, and truthfully, it would destroy me if my truck broke down, anything broke in it, like I needed to rebuild it or anything, transmission, whatever. He goes, man, I would be destroyed because I don't have nothing to like fall back on. Like, so, and the guy was very good with his money. He had way more experience than me. So like I trusted what he said, and he's all like, man, if I had to do it over again, I would have never bought this truck. I wish I would have knew what I know today. And I was like, man, yeah, that makes sense. Cause you're taking a truck that's getting more miles on it, you're putting wear and tear, and you're you're wearing it out. You are wearing it out. So you're buying something, and then you're wearing it the rest of the way out. Once the warranty's gone, it's all on you. So, maybe I would if anything, I would might consider like lease purchase, buy the truck, run it the rest of the time with Prime, and then sell it, and then take that money and whatever I saved up from not having a truck payment, because I would still make the truck payment, but I would make it to my separate account. That way I'm still used to making a truck payment. And also, whenever I sell that truck, then I would take that money plus what I saved up from making payments to myself, maybe be able to just buy my next truck. Now I get to go 6 years without even having a truck payment, if that's possible. So, I would just try to look at it like that. I have a family, wife, kids. I ain't looking at none of that because going negative is not for me. Like, I know lease is a big risk. You either win good and you have great checks, or you fall and you don't have a check. Like, it's all up to how hard you work. Like, I'm a hard worker, but still stuff happens. I got stuck at a I don't know why it keeps putting that in my chat, but I got stuck at shippers and receivers. Not my fault, just like out of product, or they canceled a load, stuff like that. Like, that's out of your hands. You get paid detention pay, but they don't pay you for like 3-4 months. But you sat there you got all that detention pay, but who knows when it comes. So like, it's not gonna take care of that week. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let me get back to some comments. I went on a whole spill about that. I know I was over 10,000 when I was there. We were over 10,000 trucks when you were here. John Taylor says, I'm in TNT and my trainer isn't letting me do any backing. What should I do? Speak up. Speak up. Tell your trainer, hey, I feel like I should be backing. Like, I feel like I should be backing. I feel like I need the experience. So definitely speak up. Tell them, say, hey man, communication. If he's just like, if he's like, yeah, we'll get to it, like, do some more miles, we'll get to it. Let it go a little while longer, see what happens. If he's just like, if you never get to do it, then go up your chain of command. If you communicate with him first, and if he's like, nope, 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 then you need to step it up to the fleet manager, which the fleet manager will probably have a talk with all three of y'all, maybe a three-way call or a conference call, and try to talk about it. Hey, like, what's going on? Let's try to give this driver some more experience, let them back more. If that doesn't work, then you go up the chain of command to the guy over TNT trainers, and you express to him what's going on and let them know your concerns. Because, at the end of the day, you're trying to get your experience, you're trying to become better at it. If you're not allowed to do it, then that's an issue. And my PSDs, if you watch my videos, my PSDs are doing the backing. Um, I do, whenever they're brand new, I'll do some of it. Like, I'll do, or if it's a really messed up spot we're at, or a tight spot, or I got to do it real quick, like I'm going to go ahead and do it. But most of the time, it's my students in there behind the wheel. They're PSD students. So TNT, you should be backing. But communication. Definitely have some communication. If you're wanting to stay away from home, then don't lease. If you want to stay away from home, then don't lease. You can't go home every 3 or 4 weeks. You have to stay out. Pegleg says average in-frame engine rebuild is around, so the in-frame engine rebuild is around 25 to 30K. Man, that is, that right there is something else, and that's a lot. That really is. New merch is here. I don't I don't know, man. That's throwing me off right there. New merch is here. Uh, Hooking slicer. How's the KW treating you? Oh, I like it. I like it. I'm finding out that it's low to the ground, so like it's scraping on like some of the places I go really bad. Like nothing like nothing like hearing the sound of the side skirts scraping along the gravel and stuff in some of these lots. There's nothing like that sound. You're just like, oh no. Oh, my student hit the curb the other way with the front right steer tire. Man, I didn't even want to see what it looked like. I still we hit this curb and we jumped it. Like it was like boom. I was like, oh man, I still haven't even went and looked at it. So I was just like, man, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see any scratches or, whatever. I don't want to see it. So I still have not yet went and looked at it and been like, okay, that's the damage you did. I looked at the tire and the rim, but like I was not gonna look at not I was not trying to inspect it for like a scratch or whatever. But I'm like this. If my students scratch it up, I'm gonna be less stressed about getting it scuffed up or anything because like hey, when I first got it, I was like, man, I don't want to go to this place or this place or this place. They have trees there, and this is gonna scuff up my truck. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going there for a while. Real B Hop says my trainer let me practice at Walmart and Amazon yards. It's a huge help. See, that's great. See, that's great right there. Letting you practice over there. It's also great for like inside truck stops, stuff like that. The only thing bad about that, and the only thing, I had a student before, and he was all like, "Hey man, can we practice backing in the truck stop?" And I was like, "No, we're not gonna burn our clocks up doing that. We're here for a 10-hour break. We need to take our 10-hour break, and we need to hit the road." Like I can't, I just can't, because you don't want to burn up your clock doing that. Gene Scott says, I still have the red twisted hat I got from you. I think it's the one you have on the wall to your left. Yeah. I have another one over there actually. That's what we need to do again. We need to do another giveaway. That's always fun. It cost a lot to get that many hats. Last time I was giving them away like crazy. I was like, hey, you get a hat, you get a hat, you get a hat, you get a hat. And I was like, whoa, man. Shipping, paying to mail them out and stuff. I was like, man, I did not know it was going to cost me this much to begin with. I still got Chris Melgeorge, his 3 hats, because we just been having a hard. He's like, man, I'm gonna come pick them up. I'm all like, let me mail them to you. He's all like, I'm gonna come pick them up. And then every time he's around, like I'm either on a load and he has to pass by, or we just always miss each other. So, but yeah, I think I need to do another hat giveaway or something. It's been a while. I was trying to do it every thousand subscribers I got, and I even ordered I ordered some black hats with purple and blue on them, and they were really cool for whenever I got, I think it was 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. I got them, and they came in, and for some reason one of my videos just went way up, and next thing I know, it was like I went 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, like real quick. And I was like, what is going on? Like I was having like 700, 800 subscribers a day off of that video. I was like, man, I was like, well, these hats are already passed. I'm all like, what do I do now? I would have to buy this many hats for that, this many hats for that, this many hats for that. Peg Leg says, have you ever had a tire blowout? Try three in one day I had blowout. Yeah, tire blowouts, that's common on like some of these older trailers that we have for some reason. It's just, I don't know, I feel like the dual tires blow out a lot more than the super wides. I will say that. I know a lot of people are against the super wide tires, but I'm having these duals on these trailers. It's been a while, knock on wood, but I've had more dual tires blow out than super wides. I will say that. I've had super wides go flat instead of blowing out. Like, I've had that before. It had a big gash in the side of it and it just went flat. And I was all like, it's like, man, I'm surprised that didn't blow up. Can you leave his hats for him at the Prime mailroom? Well, unfortunately, he doesn't work for Prime no more, so that's the other issue. So he was at another trucking company, so he was like, stop at like the TA or something, you know. I'm from India, need in country, and I'm looking to pay an instructor for license. Who can I pay? How do I talk? Think. See, we don't do any of the programs like that. We Prime does not do any of the programs like that. You would have to do a lot of work to get here. So you would have to get here on a work visa, do all that right there. Get here on a work visa, have to have a driver's license for 2 years. Um, it's gonna take you a while. It's gonna be hard. I will say that. What is your Prime driver code referral code? That's the So whenever you use the referral code, they give me a bonus for referring you to the company. So mine's COXDJO to get a CDL road test contract, your local driver's license bureau. I cannot just pay. Yeah, I know. Hey, I was watching a video the other day. I don't know who's. I think it was on TikTok, but it was like this news station, and they're all like, "We went undercover to see how long it would take for somebody to get a CDL." So like they went to the CDL school undercover with hidden cameras and stuff, and like they're all like, "That guy doesn't speak English. That guy doesn't that guy right there, he has no classroom training. Like they're all like, they were just the guy was asking the instructor, so don't I have to do this? And he was all like, no, no, don't worry about that. You pay and I'll get you a CDL. Don't worry about that. And I was like, man, there we go. Get rid of those messages. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm seeing more and more stuff like that, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Just pay to get a CDL. Like that's what's wrong with that's what's wrong with a lot of the trucking industry right now. Right now is hearing of stuff like that or seeing stuff like that. This used to be a skilled profession. It still is a skilled profession. It used to be a more skilled profession, I felt like. I felt like you had to do it was a lot more work to get a CDL. It was a lot harder, I feel like. It was. It, because like people study the pre-trip, right? We have people that study the pre-trip and then they take their test and they study the pre-trip and they take their test and then they don't use the pre like they don't pre-trip their vehicles. It's like, man, like that's the number one thing that you need to do. Joshua, when doing PSD, do you automatically take your first test at week 2 or is it based off of your readiness? Joshua, it's going to be based off of whenever your instructor feels that you're ready. Um, I'm pretty accurate in doing 14 days. So like I have a system and I have a structured plan on like what I want to do, where I want you to be at every day and how I want you to be ready. My first 7 days, my goal in my first 7 days with every student, first 7 days is I want you 100% ready for your test. That's what I would like. And let's see, I had a guy 3 students ago that didn't happen. That didn't happen. I mean, like he was having a harder time. One of his biggest problems is he was not following directions. He was not following. He would not listen. Like it was his fault that I couldn't get him to that point. But my goal is to get my students ready a week before their test. The let's see. So the guys that I had right now, actually, he was 4 students ago. So the next 3 students I had, so I had a guy that I tested last week. He was ready a week before his test. The guy that's testing tomorrow, he was ready a week before his test. The guy I'm testing next Wednesday, the guy I'm testing next Wednesday, he was ready for his test probably the second day I had him. Like this dude is like I told him today. I was like, man, you've been the easiest student I ever have had. And I know what happens. I have like some good students back to back. I'm about to get a real hard one. It's just how it works. But easiest student I ever had. The dude is great at driving. He's real confident. He's great at backing. His pre-trip, man, he learned his pre-trip so fast. Like I have no complaints about this guy. Whenever he tests out, I'm gonna be like, dang man, now I get to start over. But he like I could test him tomorrow. Like this, I have that much confidence in him that he will pass tomorrow. I have so much confidence that tomorrow I'm probably gonna be like, hey man, I want you to start backing it in like this, and I'm gonna teach them another way to back that truck and trailer. So I'm gonna up his training because he's been working really hard. I'm kind of like this. If you work really hard on that pre-trip and you get that out the way, then I don't have to mess with it as much, and I can focus on adding more to your driving, adding more to your backing. I can make you better, even better, because now I have extra time to do it. If I have a guy that's slacking on the pre-trip, then it's days and days and days that I have to mess with that pre-trip. It's days we lose out on because I'm not gonna if you don't got the pre-trip down in like 2 days, 2 3 days, I'm not gonna move forward with you because there's no point in it. I've had so many students, so many. I've worked so hard with a lot of students that could not pass that pre-trip because they were not studying it. That I refuse to do that anymore. I refuse to give somebody all this backing skills and driving skills just for them to get removed from the program because they're not doing their pre-trip. I I just cannot do that no more. So I got to the point where I'll take you on loads, stuff like that. I'll teach you some driving and I'll do straight line back with you. But anything harder than that, you can forget about it till you get your pre-trip down. So I'll give you that much to go with, and then you gotta get your pre-trip down. Have to, because I'm not moving forward anymore. That's one of the most important things to do. You before you drive your truck every time, you should pre-trip the whole thing. And that's not just doing the paper. That's not. So a lot of people, I'm all like, hey, pre-trip the truck, or hey, pre-trip the trailer. And I noticed it. I noticed it all the time. Like this week it happened. This week I was all like, I was watching my student pre-trip the trailer because I was all like, hey, this time I want you just you a pre-trip it, because I'm going around and they're walking with me, and I'm like, I'm pre-tripping it. So I was like, I want you to pre-trip it. So I walked around with them, and I had to be like, hey, you're not checking. You're not checking the brakes. You're not checking the suspension. You're just walking around the trailer checking the lights. And he was all like, oh man, yeah, yeah. I was like, you gotta check all this. You gotta check every lug nut on this vehicle. Like, you have to check all of this when we pick up a trailer. And he was like, okay. And then today it happened again. My student caught himself. He was all like, oh man. And like, he went back and he walked right past the tandems. Like, he didn't look under there. Then he was all like, oh man, I messed up. And he went back and he started looking under there and making sure that there was some friction material and the drums were good and there's no oil, grease, or debris, and checking the lines underneath there, brake lines, stuff like that, looking at the airbags, the springs, everything under there. I was all like, don't forget these tires have spacing because they're duals, so make sure nothing's between them, nothing's stuck in there. So what do you mean? What you are meaning by pre-trip? Isn't pre-trip just a few tires and check the lights and engine? Is that still a truck? Oh, there's a lot of stuff that you have to check. A whole bunch of stuff. Like, you're a professional driver when you come out here, so it's not just like kick some tires, look at the lights, and you're done. Like, those are little checks that you do throughout the day, though. Like, if I stop for a 30-minute break, I'm gonna walk around and look at all the lights and check the tires. That's just like a extra little pre-trip that you don't even have to log. But the DOT says that you have to do a on-duty and off-duty pre-trip every day, two of them. Normally before your shift and at the end of your shift. Uh, Hi, I'm from Houston. I really want to obtain the CDL. Do you suggest me to go to Stevens Transport or Prime or any others? I'm biased. I can't I can't answer that because I'm biased. I'm at Prime. I'm an instructor for Prime, and And my opinion would be like, yeah, definitely come to Prime. Especially since you're from Houston, because like I like training people from Texas. I'm from Texas. Like I'm all like, come on, man, you're gonna definitely be my student. I'm from Texas. I'm from West Texas, but I've been to Houston. I know about Houston, especially the great music, all the chopped and screwed. Great music. Depending how old you are, if you might be younger, so like maybe some Big X the Plug or something. We'll see. But yeah, definitely do your research on all of them. Like make a list out of everything good about them, everything bad about them, or compare them. I will tell you, Prime Inc. is also the highest paid training program. Just throwing that out there. That is one thing that Prime has always been like prideful of during training. We are the highest paid. We are also the longest training program because that TNT is a lot of miles. It's 30K. You get it done fast, but it's longer than anyone else. Alex, what do you drive? I drive a 2026 Kenworth right now, T680. Fast carrying. Canada has a serious problem with Indian illegals, truckers buying license. Ontario, Canada just revoked 1,500 CDL equivalent license. Yikes. Yikes. And that's I could see them doing that. Like if you went undercover in some of these schools, like, and that's what it's gonna take. Like that news story I watched, like if you go undercover inside one of those places and you find out that that's what going on, then it's gonna be shut down, and everyone that ever got a CDL through there is gonna should be. We're pulling everyone's CDL that went through here. You're gonna have to redo it. It's gonna suck. It's not gonna be fun, but it is what it is. If if something illegal was going on at that place, and everybody, hey, we're pulling everyone's CDL, and they're shutting that thing down. Whenever they changed to this, when they changed to this new program, anyways, more it was supposed to be more structured. Like you had to be an accredited school. So evidently there's still some places that they should not have been accredited. So I don't know how they accreditate them. I know I talked to so I know somebody at Prime, one of my friends at Prime, I should say, also like one of my bosses. I saw the forms that he had to fill out. Like it's a packet about that thick with a whole bunch of legal stuff that you would not even know what they're saying in there, but he had to type it all out just to get the program set up. So like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of legal just to get it done. Florida Life says, is there an upper age limit to attain your CDL and do DOT? Upper age limit? No. I have not heard of any age that was too old. I know at Prime it's 21. Some states are doing 18 to get a Class A CDL. I've seen several students that came from Texas that got their CDL at 18 and nobody would hire them. So they had zero experience and they came out here to Prime when they were 21. So, you know, I guess getting your CDL at 18, it's hard to find something. I was like, man, you're from Texas, like oil field. What are you doing? And he was like, no, they wouldn't hire me. I was like, dang, I guess because you're 18. Meta Metatron. I'm probably messing up your name. Okay, cool. I will definitely look into Prime's payment. I'm getting my DOT tomorrow morning. Oh, does Prime truck have Wi-Fi? I'm working on a master's degree online. No, I don't think any company. I could be wrong, but I don't remember any company that I've looked up offering like Wi-Fi inside their trucks. So we all have we all use different stuff like hotspot on your phone. I used to use a Netgear Nighthawk in my truck when I was over the road, and it was a mobile hotspot. That thing was a beast whenever it first came out. But now it's old. They had newer models and stuff replace it, so I'm pretty sure that just look up stuff like that. I mean, I've heard of people getting the Starlink on the truck and having that. I've heard of people having the home T-Mobile internet on the trucks. So like I'm hearing good things about a lot of stuff for internet and stuff. Pegleg says, when I got my CDL 20 plus years ago, the pre-trip used to be over 100 things to check. Yeah, I kind of, I mean, it's going to be more, but I kind of wish that instead of them making the pre-trip less items, I would have, it would have took a lot of time though. It would have took a lot of time, but, you know, maybe, I don't know. Because you got to think about time wise too, because your test is a test already takes an hour, so if you had a pre-trip the entire truck and trailer like you really should when you get the job, then it would take too long. So I can see why you just have to show that you can do it on each item. The thing is, just people are just not actually getting out the truck and doing it is what I'm seeing. Like, there's not enough people getting out the truck and actually doing them. So, super important, man. You're playing with a lot of people's lives. A lot of people's lives. Like, at my students, I will tell you this with my students, I will do until you get your pre trip down, I'm going to do the pre trip on the whole vehicle. But once you get that pre trip down, I'm going to be like, I'm going to be like, hey, we're we leaving and you did you do your pre-trip? Did you check everything? You're the one driving, you're the one behind the wheel. It's your responsibility. The DOT says that we do two a day. Like, it's your responsibility. These drivers don't check nothing. Speaking from experience. Well, thanks, Alex. Speaking from experience. Uh, You know, yeah, it's just it's just something you got to do as part of the job. Like, Joshua Daly says, I should be coming to Prime in like 4 weeks. I had to change some medications, which I found out last Friday when should be at training now. Is it better to train in the colder weather than in the heat? I think it's better to come in like this is the perfect time of the year to come in actually right now. And every year the my best students come in about right now. Come in right now to like maybe a little bit further into the winter is when they start coming in, and they are the best students. Like, they came out here, they said, "Man, I really need this. I really want this. So I'm coming out here now. I understand that it's cold. The weather's going to be bad. It's going to be harder, but guess what? Like, I'm working for it. Like, I want to do this." And you're going to get a lot more experience coming in the winter time, because guess what? You're going to have the bad weather right off in your first 3-4 months of your career. Like, you're getting that experience. When summer comes around, you're gonna be like, man, it's kind of boring. Just like whenever I tell all my students, I'm like, hey, look, I'm not a trainer that's gonna have you bobtail around the yard. I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to baby step into this. I'm not a trainer that's going to hook up to a trailer and drive around circles around this pad. Not doing that. So get ready. Your first time you drive is gonna be with a trailer, and I'm gonna be like, either go out that gate, or I'm gonna be like, go out let's make a left and go on this highway. Let's go out of the front of Eco Shred and let's make do this load. So I believe that the harder it is when you start out, the better that the easier everything else is gonna fall into place. So if our first load is to Arkansas with those curvy roads and stuff like that, straight down 65, you know, I know some trainers is that they're all like, I don't go down 65. No, I'm all like, how do you get there? Well, I go down 44 to the 49. I stay on that interstate, then I get on the 40 and go back up, and I'm all like, dude, so you're telling me you stay the night because that's more miles than you have clock? And yeah, man, it's just safer that way. I'm all like, that takes way longer. Yeah, but I ain't going down 65. My students are going down 65. They're driving. So I don't get why it's so bad down 65. I don't really have a problem with it. My students don't. I mean, they're stressed out, but the harder you make it at the start, the easier everything else is going to get, because you go on the little narrow roads and you learn how to stay wide in those curves, and you learn all that on those little narrow roads. When you get back to the easy roads like I-44 and your lane's normal size, and you're like, man, I got a lot of room in this lane. It felt like in Arkansas I had an inch on both sides. Now it's like I have like a foot and a half on both sides. See? You already became better. Like, you already are better. Real says, does Prime award you for a level 2 and level 3 inspection pass? Yes. Yes. All the inspections. If you get inspected, like if you go through there and you get any kind of inspected, you're supposed to turn in whatever copies they give you. You're supposed to turn in all the copies, because they're going to give you a copy of some paperwork and stuff. So you scan it in with, first off, let your fleet manager know, and he's going to be like, yeah, we're going to scan a copy of it in with your bills, so that way I can send it to the safety department. Sometimes he'll have you scan it into safety. So either way, you send it to them, and then if you had a clean inspection, they're gonna pay you something. They're gonna give you a little bonus. I don't know the exact amount. Pegleg says, be careful in Arkansas. The hills have eyes there. That's a horrible movie. Like, don't. That's a horrible movie. I watched that movie. I was disgusted. I was like, ugh. I was like, this is a horrible movie. But yeah, for the inspections, you do get a bonus whenever it's a clean one. So I don't really get pulled into. I haven't been pulled into a scale. Knock on wood. I haven't been pulled into a scale in a while. I figured since I'm in this new Kenworth, like every time I don't know what it is. It never fails, but every time I'm in a new truck, it's like whenever I first get it, I'm in every scale that I come by. I'm all like, up scale, scale. It's like I feel like I'm in every single one till like for probably like the first like 3 months I have the truck. But since I got this Kenworth, it's like every scale we went past has been closed, or like today, we were going down the road and I looked over, the scale on our side was closed. I looked across the highway and I was like they had every truck going into that scale. Every single truck going into there. It wasn't today, it was yesterday. My bad. It wasn't today. So yesterday, every truck was going into the scale, and they had a long, long driveway to go in there. It was on the 70. I was like, man, I was like, on the way back, we're going in that scale. We're not gonna miss that one. Man, we were on the way back. And I was like, here comes the scale. And the driveway said, gave us the green light. Said, man, bypass it. I was like, yeah, we get to bypass it. We get up to it. It says closed. I'm all like, and that's been happening to me a lot here lately. Every time I see the scales, I'm all like, going by, I'm all like, oh, closed. Or it'll be open on the other side, and I'm all like, oh, on the way back. We come on the way back, and it's closed. I've just been getting super lucky or something. Not that I have anything bad going on. It just, man, you want to talk about somebody getting nervous when your student first time going in a scale, they do some wild stuff. So I had one guy. Normally it's like they'll go too fast in there, or they'll go up to the scale really fast, or it'll be a scale that's just like 3 miles per hour. Just keep your truck going, and they stop before they go. And it's like, dude, it says maintain like 3 miles per hour, maintain 10 miles per hour. I'm all like, you got to keep going. Or they like try to hit the curb on either side of the scale. They're trying to hit the curb, and I'm like, God dang, dude, just chill out. Just go straight in the lane, man. You don't need to hit nothing. You don't need to turn the wheel, nothing. Just go straight through it. I had one guy so nervous about the scale. It was one of those scales where you pulled up and you put your whole truck on the scale and you stopped, and it gave you your three weights. For some, this guy was so nervous. He pulled the truck on the scale and just stopped. I was like, dude, you gotta go up there and stop. You gotta go all the way up. And he was all like, oh. Then he pulled up a little bit more, and I was like, keep going, keep going. He stopped again, and I was like, dude, you gotta go all the way up to there. You see how it says front of the truck stops here or front bumper here? I'm like, you gotta go all the way up there. And that lady in there, she just looking at it. She's like, hurry up, you know. She's like, I got more trucks in here. Man, next thing I know, that intercom comes on. Can you please pull around to the back and park the truck? Bring in your bills and your logs, or bring in your permits and your bill of lading. I'm all like, ah, man. So here we go. We pull around. I'm all like, let's go in here and see what's up, man. They're probably going to do a whole inspection on this. We went in there. I'm all like, he gives her the permit and his driver's license, and she wants mine too. And then she asks for the cab card and something else. So we give her all the paperwork and the bill of ladings, and she was all like, so you're brand new? And he's like, yes, ma'am. And she was all like, and you don't read signs. That sign said pull all the way up. And I was like, I was telling him too. He was just so scared. And she was all like, are you still scared? He's like, yeah, I'm real nervous in here. I'm really nervous. She started laughing, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. He's been a good driver, but for some reason we went into this scale, and he was night and day. He was somebody else. I don't even know who he is right now. So it was cool though. That she was real nice, and she got us out of there pretty quick, but she was real cool. 51 Logistics, brother, I like the new truck. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I put lights in there and stuff, man. That twisted sign that used to be on the wall right there, that twisted D, is now on the back wall of it, and it's super bright. It was too bright for this room. It was too bright for this room, so I was like, let me take it to the truck and put it on the back wall in the truck. Super bright. Like if you turn around and stare at it for a minute and then look away, you're like, man, I'm blind. But it doesn't like shine. Like when you're driving, or if you're in the front, you don't even notice it. And if you're facing away from it, you don't notice it. But if you go back there and you just stare at it, you're like, oh, I can't see nothing. So I put some lights around the front too. Like I was all like, man, I really like this truck, so like I'm gonna do a little bit extra. It's like whenever got my first ever Freightliner, I had to go get the lug nut covers. I had to go get the center caps, so like the over the hub seals. I had to go get like the spikes. I went and got all that stuff. I was like, yeah, man, I gotta get all this stuff. polished the rims, or actually my teammate polished the rims on it, polished the steps, all that fun stuff. So, and we put lights in that truck. We also did put lights in that truck. It made it way easier to find that truck in the parking lot, because when we first got it, it was a dark blue truck. I think it was like I don't remember what year it was. It was a manual truck, but it was a dark blue truck, and it mixed in with everybody else in the truck stop at night. But when we put those lights in there, we just turn it on flashing. We go inside, take our shower or whatever, come back to the truck. There it is. Go straight to it. But yeah, it's so got this new truck, and I'm liking it. I'm digging it. So I was like, man, I want to do a little bit extra. Let me put some lights in here. You know, let me put my sign up in here. I've been saying I was going to take that sign off of that wall for a long time and take it to my truck, because it just blurred out the corner of my camera. It just would blur out my camera. It would reflect in the lens. It was just something else. So I'll put it in there. Yeah, I saw it in your video. Yeah, it was it was messing up my video too. I think I reshot like a couple sections of it just because of the sign. Uh, how do you know when you have to scale? So if the scale's open, you have to go in there and scale. It doesn't matter if you're bobtail. It doesn't matter if you're empty trailer. It doesn't matter if you're loaded trailer. It doesn't matter if you have a scale ticket from CAT that says, hey, I'm good. Every single time that you're passing a scale in a commercial vehicle and it says open, you're going to go in there. The only exception to the rule is if you have a pre-pass or DriveWise or whatever company you might use that gives you a pass on the scale, like a bypass, then you can bypass it. So your pre-pass will blink. It makes a certain sound. It's like a slower beep, a beep, beep for just pass it. And then if you had to go in it, it's beep, 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 beep. And it would have a light indicator on the side of it. It was green for you don't have to go in there, and it blinked red for having to go in there. DriveWise covers up your whole navigation screen on your Geo tab. It covers up the whole screen, and it says bypass if you're going past it, or it'll cover up your whole screen, and it'll say um, pull into the scale unless instructed otherwise, or something like that, something like that. So that's how you know. Pegleg says, hey man, who's the blind one here? Yeah, man, Pegleg, that sign is so bright you would see it. Oh man. But yeah, that sign, I mean, it's an awesome sign. The sign was a gift from Versatile Duckling, Eric Crumpton, one of my friends. He gifted me the sign and was all like, hey man, this will look great in your YouTube room. And I was like, man, this is a great sign, but I couldn't dim it. It was just too bright in here. It just, like, my computer screen would be like, I couldn't see it. Like, it was hard to play video games with it in the room. I was like having to unplug it all the time. I tried a dimmer switch. I tried all kinds of stuff. Really nice sign. Great quality sign. I mean, I'm sure he spent a lot of money on it. It is nice. It was a great gift. Like, I thought it was really awesome he did that. And I was like, man, I feel so bad, because like I would have it on some during some of my lives, and it would be blurry over there. I just like, you know what? I want to use it because, my friend gave it to me, and it does mean something to me. So, so I had the bright idea in the white truck that I was like, man, I'm gonna take that to the truck someday and hang it on the wall in the truck and see what it looks like. And I just never did. And then finally one day I was like, you know what? I got this new truck. I'm gonna make sure I do it. So after one of my lives, I went over there and just took it off the wall and went and put it in my pickup truck. And I was like, that way I'm not gonna forget it. And then I took it to my truck, and that day I took it to my truck, I hooked it up instantly. I was like, I gotta hook it up. Oh yeah, do the cat scale tickets still have the truck trading cards on them? I'm not sure. Hey, anybody know if the cat scale still gives out the free trucking trading cards with them? Somebody put it in the comments that bought one here lately. KMF says, I'm at Western right now. After I get experience, I'm moving on. Happy and blessed to have my foot in the door. I appreciate your shared knowledge. Hey, you're welcome, man. Definitely, like, if that's the route you needed to go, then, do it. Do it. Put all your abilities into doing it too. Michael 918 Fishing says, "What's up, Twisted?" Yes, they do. I got one at home. So yeah, peg leg, they still do put the cards in there. I thought that they were cool whenever I got the tickets. Me and my teammate, we would both like collect them. We would grab them all, have a big stack. I thought my kids would like them. I'm all like, hey, check out these cards, and they're all like, yeah, that's cool. It's not Pokemon. It's trucking. That's awesome, Dad. I'm like, oh, dang. Guess the kids don't like them. So, you know, it is what it is. But I thought that they were nice cards. I really did. It was just something nice cat did. The cat scale would do. And that's like the only skill I really like using is cat. I don't I man, I've been on some of the shippers and receivers scales and I've been like, man, these things are wrong. So I've drove to a cat scale and re got it weighed and I've had to take loads back like that before. I've also been on a cat scale one time. I went on a cat scale one time and I was all like, it printed out my ticket and I was like, this doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. I was like, you know what? I got a cat scale ticket and they say that if their scale's wrong or whatever and you get a ticket for your load and you have proof that you went on the cat scale, you have that receipt and everything, then they will hire lawyers to help you out. So I was like, you know what? I'm running this load. And I went into a scale with it, but they didn't say nothing. And then I think whenever I got to the place I was going, they had a scale on the way in and I weighed it and it was overweight. It was overweight on the tandems by like 1,000 pounds. All I needed to do was slide it back one hole, but that would have put me in the seventh hole. And in California, it's like pretty much it's about the sixth hole is what we need to be in. So I think I was fine anyways. They would have had to measure it, see how far the tandems are. But I think I was still fine in the seventh hole. But I was like, man, that I was in the sixth hole because I was like, that's the farthest I can take it back. Uh, and I remember whenever I started sliding tandems, that was the hardest thing to do. Sliding tandems, trying to get your weights right. I had a buddy. Still have a buddy. My friend Steve. Steve is the man whenever it comes to sliding tandems. You can tell him the place you picked up. You can tell him like how much weight it is. Hey, they say it's this much weight in the trailer, and that guy right there, he can be like, all right, you need to be in the eighth hole, and you're like, what? So you put it in the eighth hole, go get it weighed, and he's right. Probably 98% of the time. He's just a master with sliding tandems. Like he is good at it. I've been at a scale before and I hit him up and I'm all like, man, I can't get this right, dude. Like, I need some help here. And he was all like, oh, what did it weigh? Okay, slide it up two holes. All right, slide it up two holes. Go back on the scale. Boom, perfect. I'm like, dang, man, you're just he's he got it down. Michael says, I don't want to talk about sliding tandems. Yeah, they're sometimes, man. I got these. I do these old trailers, these old eco shred trailers with the bar you pull out and hook down to slide them, and they are rusted and man, yeah. I tell you what, I'll tell you what, doing some of this eco shred stuff, man, I've had to replace two hammers. I had like a little claw hammer and it finally broke. Then I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get a sledgehammer because some of these trailers really need to be hit, you know? So I got this little mini sledgehammer. It broke. I broke that thing too. So right now I went and got me one of those roofing hammers with it's metal. I'm all like, well, I think this will last longer. Real B says, can a lease driver order bud wheels bud wheels instead of super wides and manual transmission? No, you're okay. So I think you're talking about the duals. I think you were trying to put duals in there, but you once you pay off the truck, you can switch it over to duals. So if you're buying the truck and you can once it's paid off, you can switch it over to duals. And then the manual transmission, you cannot order at Prime. You cannot order a manual transmission. I do not know. I do not know if you go and buy your truck from a dealer and you buy a manual, if you can bring it to Prime because that should be all right. But I don't know the answer to that. I know that you cannot order the truck because it's a walkaway lease. So say you order a truck, a lease purchase truck, and you're gonna buy it at the end. It's a walkaway lease. So if you pay the extra to get the manual transmission and then you walk away from it, they're all like, "What are we gonna do with this, man? Like we gotta find a driver without a restriction." So they're kind of like, nah, we're not ordering them that way. They stopped that, I think 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago they stopped that because it was right whenever my buddy was ordering his truck and he was all like, I'm getting a manual transmission. Like I'm ordering the manual. I'm sick of these automatics. You know, he was talking all that mess and I was like, oh, cool, dude. So I was there with him. We went through ordering and like he was showing me the options and he was all like, you think I should get this? And I'm all like, I don't know. It's your truck, man. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. But we went through all that and he was all like, dang, man, I'm gonna have to put up this much up front. I was like, you got that much? And he was all like, hey, I'm smart with my money. I save up. I was like, well, that must be nice. But at one point, he had like 100 grand right in his account. Like he showed me, he was all like, look, I got this much in my account. I was like, wow, wow. He got, he ended up, he got real bad sick from COVID and he had to spend a ton of it. Like he was bad sick, so he had to spend a ton of it. But it was cool. Like how many people can say that I had 100 grand sitting in my bank account, like just chilling there. Like not, I'm sure that there's a lot of people, but it's not every day you see somebody with like 100 grand just sitting in one account like that. I mean, that was freaking awesome. I was happy for him. Uh, Sacks away per. Oh man, I don't want to get into all the way. Pretty much the rule of thumb at Prime is 80,000 pounds, 34,000 on on the tandems, 34,000 on the drives, and 12,000 on the steers. So that's our rules that we're going by per axle. Like I'm not gonna do all the math of that. Michael says that's how my tandem slide got they stuck. Yeah. Hey, I've been wanting to make a video on it, but I haven't. But if you ever get one of the trailers that just roll, like say you're trying to slide the tandems, you know what? I need to make a video because somebody will get hurt if they don't do it right. But if you know what you're doing with the slack adjusters, you can adjust the slack adjusters on the brakes. You can adjust it, and it won't keep rolling like that. The brakes will actually lock down on it. So I need to do a video on it. That way people understand it. I don't want anyone just going and taking like unbolting stuff or tightening stuff down that shouldn't be. But there is a way that you can adjust them so that they will stay locked. Because that's what's going on with them anyways. If you ever get a trailer in the like you're trying to slide the tandems and it keeps rolling off, slack adjusters are out of whack. Part of your pre-trip. But anyways, I sometimes I'll use like wheel chocks to help me out. Sometimes I'll find a curb, something that's pretty steady that's gonna hold those tandems in place. Michael says, breaking news, parked at a workman's tonight, and I was able to have a conversation and eat with another driver. It was a nice change. Hey, let's go. Workman's over there and off the 49 in Arkansas. That's where I know where. That's the last time I seen Workman's. Just asking. I don't know. That's the last time I seen that truck stop's name. They had man, what was the restaurant inside there? I can't even remember the restaurant. Let's see. How long have I been live? Hour and 20 minutes? What? Yep. And Alma. When are when you are company driver, how much choice do you have on making the truck? Making the truck. Choice do you have making the making of the truck? Can you lease a Volvo at Prime? You, so we get Volvos in their rares. If like lease is not like you think it is. So there's a big misunderstanding with lease. When you lease a truck, like there's a lot of guys that are all like, "Man, I'm gonna get this color." No, you're not, bro. Like when you lease, they're gonna give you the trucks on the list. They're gonna give you like 3 trucks. They're gonna be like, "Hey, go pick one of these trucks. Go check them out." If you don't like those trucks, you go to the bottom of the list. Nobody likes going to the bottom of the list. So if you get choice of 3 red Freightliners, you're gonna pick a red Freightliner. You can go check them out. You're gonna pick a red Freightliner. They're all gonna be the same. But like Volvo, Peterbilt's, Kenworth, it's the luck of the draw on the list. If you see one on there, then get it. It's nothing. I would not wait around for one. I would not like, oh, take me to the bottom of the list. I'm gonna wait till this truck comes available. Yeah, that's right. It's called the Ozark Grill now. Yep. They still got that at that truck stop, man. They had that burrito place. That's what I used to always eat in there. It's like a Subway for burritos. The big burritos, man. I can't be eating like that no more. Uh, Dang, I got lost. You got me talking about burritos. Look, I'm a fat guy. I like to eat, and you bringing up burritos. But you choose the manufacturers. What I mean, no company. They're just gonna give you a truck. They're gonna give you the first one that they have available. So you could be in a international Peterbilt, Freightliner, whatever. They're just gonna give you the first one that they got available for you. Here you go. Uh, Lease, you're gonna have a little bit more say, but it's not like you think. It's not like you think. It's what we have on the lot. It's not like, hey, what I want to lease is a red. Peterbilt, such and such. Nah, it's not like that. You're just gonna take what you see on the lot. So, it's company or lease, do research on it, find out what fits you best. I have some students that I'm all like, you definitely need to be company. I have some students that I'm all like, you'd probably be all right going ahead and starting a lease. You're very smart. Aiming down the spring brakes, resets the slack. Airing down the spring brakes resets the slack adjuster. Remember, LAB. Yeah, well, sometimes they just are stuck, man. Like I've had that happen that they it just didn't reset. Anyways, I got to make a video about it sometime. I've been saying that for a while. I'm gonna make a video about this. I just haven't. The Mexican restaurant we went to was pretty darn good. Oh, you're talking about here in town? Yeah, that's Jose Loco, not Jose Loco. Man, I always mess up the name of the place. I call it Jose Loco, but I think it's. Oh yeah, it's Jose Locos. So yeah, I was right this time. I get it messed up. I'm all like, I'll start calling it Jose Tacos or Tacos Locos or I mess it up all the time. I actually got it right that time. But we went there. We also went to the other one, Peg Leg. I can't remember La Hacienda. So one of the two we went to was pretty good. The one by Russellville, Arkansas, does have the burrito place. Yeah, that's the one. Man, we used to get this load from over there. I did not like going to the place, but I was like, man, every time I go there, I'm gonna get the burrito. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm all like, I want that load. And then, and then one of my friends got one of their trailers, and he was all like, he he was all like, he picked it up from the eco shred, and he was all like, "Oh man, this has a bad tire on it, and this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed." Took it in the shop. They fixed everything, and then that Prime sent them a bill for fixing their trailer, and they were not happy. They were not happy, and they don't do business with us no more, kind of thing. So like, I was like, "No, I want my burritos. Like, you messed everything up." I was like, "Oh, why'd you have to take that trailer to get fixed?" But it had to be fixed. It was not safe to drive. Jacob, yo, the hibachi grill. Yeah, we went to a good hibachi grill. That's my favorite place. Shoot, I love hibachi grills. Well, anyways, guys, we've been live for like an hour and 27 minutes. It seems like every Thursday, y'all are starting to keep me on here longer and longer. So, look at us. We're at an hour and 27 minutes tonight. Let me answer this one question. Mighty Man says, "What's the percentage of class graduates that continue with truck driving career as a whole?" See, if they leave Prime, we don't have no data on that. But our our pass rate, I think the amount of students that we bring in compared to the ones that don't make it, I think, what was he saying? I just talked to him the other day and asked him the same question. I want to say that we're at like a 96. What did he say? I think it was like a 96% they pass on the CDL test. Like I'm talking about like all this. If you came and you were in orientation, so you got to think about that. There's people that came here and they say, you know what, this is not for me. I'm leaving. You have people that came here and got disqualified for whatever reason. It's like they decided, hey, I'm gonna go drink at the bar. Whenever you're here at Prime in when you're a student here, it's zero alcohol, zero alcohol. So that's a pretty high number for counting all the people that didn't make it through the program or that say, you know what, this ain't for me and quit. I've I've probably had like 6 students quit on me this year. Year before I probably had like 8 or 9 quit on me. So like people come here and they do quit. Uh-oh, Jacob has to get a question in real quick too. When I when you start, can you choose to drive during the daytime or do you have to drive overnight? Jacob, that's going to be up to your TNT trainer. So, you know, your TNT trainer, ask him what his shifts are, stuff like that. You know, it all depends on your TNT trainer. My TNT trainer, he loved driving at night till he hit a deer. After that, he loved driving during the day. So I got to do both. And he did tell me, hey, when we go on home time, we're going to switch out. Like, one of us is going to drive days, one's going to drive nights. And that's what I did with my students. So it's all up to your TNT trainer. Um, I take it as an experience either way. So, you know, if your trainer's like, hey, I'm going to start you out driving at night, okay, like I need the experience because a solo driver, I'm telling you, you think TNT is not really that bad. You got a set schedule. When you become a solo driver, you have no set schedule. You are running in the night some days, you're running in the day some days. So like there's no set in your sleep schedule when you're solo. We are Chris, we're hiring out of Florida. I don't know the locations. Put in your application, drop the driver code to push your application to the top, and put down Jenny Trans as the recruiter. Look at some of my videos and hit the description, and it's going to have that information down there. So Jenny Trans is going to be the best one to work with you to get through. She'll see my driver code on your referral on that application, and she will put it to the top of the list. And you know, dude, like do that for sure. That way you get, you know, some help on whatever questions you might have like that. But we are hiring out of Florida. It's Florida drivers don't go home much. They do not go home much because it's kind of a pain getting back out and stuff. Like you get good loads going in, bad load coming out. That's pretty much how it works. But like, comment, subscribe. I will be back. I should be back, hopefully. I'm not gonna commit to it 100% and be like, yeah, I'll be back next Thursday. I don't know what's going on next week, but I should be back next Thursday. So, you know, hey, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here.